First one here is going to be Chills versus Parasite. A bit of a... I messed up. Hold on a second. Close it. A bit of a rematch between the two as Parasite bailing out of there immediately. Was that Metamorphosis leap? Did you just get out of there as soon as possible? That is full cooldowns for Chill Pills in the opener. Stun. The Death Knight able to break out of the Human Racial. Blind really quickly towards Parasite. Trying to see if he can kite out the full Metamorphosis as best as he can. If he can combine a Chain of Ice on top of it, I think he'll be golden. Parasite, now his full big burst, drops down, trying to see if he can stun down Parasite. Silence to follow, got himself I-beam, going for eventual retreat, trying to give himself immunity from the, the Remorse Switcher, and it's just staying afloat midair, just going for the air combos, just to keep doing damage to Chills, while avoiding taking too much damage and avoiding OCC. Just immune for the time being, sigil down, blasting out Chills. Does have IBF, might be seeing that out of Chill Pills really early on though, as he got himself big snowball, trying to see if he can stay on top of Parasite. Lichborn keeping him out of that fear, trying to keep the snowball rolling as best as he can, tricking out of Parasite off of that stun. Chills needs some kind of a defensive here, does stun down Parasite, hold on. Those obliterates were starting to make a bit of work, but Parasite escapes inside of a twisting nether, just bails out of it as soon as possible. No longer has a trinket, does have himself full Metamorphosis available with the I-beam, trying to stay afloat mid-air as best as possible, going for the hit and runs and Chills. He's just not feeling that good. Has himself Death Pact if you needed to. And might just have to go for it. If he could just wait out until Necrotics are gone, he might be okay. Trying to disrupt Parasite from being able to eat with those Death and Decays. Might have to get in there actually. But he's waiting out for that Death Pact as much as possible. AMS is going to help huge into a big snowball. Does end up bouncing between Parasite, but he's able to escape it before Chill Pills can really ramp up his own tier set. And now Parasite is the one on the prowl. Trying to go for a stun, maybe Remorseless Winter, silence of the Parasite, gripping him into a stun, does get stunned up himself, so it's gonna be maybe a situation where Chill Pills could maybe come out of this one. Does drop down a dome, reduce a lot of this chaos damage, as well as the fire damage out of the Demon Hunter, but his health is so incredible low, and Parasite picking up a lot of healing just from that little hit and run combo that he was able to do. Every blade dance just is painful. Another AMS backup for Chill Pills, trying to give himself as much survivability as possible, trying to stay with Parasite, quick stun and AoE. I think he just might be lights out for Chills unless he somehow can bring it back. Parasite trying to steal souls out of Chill Pills whenever possible, trying to go for that AoE, not the AoE, but the what is it, magic dispel, in order to create souls out of Chills and eat him. Stun into Para, taking obliterates, second stun right after, I-beam to follow. Chills needs something to live this. Parasite with a big blade dance, AMS last second to try to give himself some more survivability. Parasite still has meta for just a little bit longer, but does Chill Pills have any answers here? Does actually sacrifice his goal last second, not a lot of health available. IBF coming back up in just a handful of seconds, no trinket available for either one right now. Parasite could still go down technically, trinket coming back up at 5 though. I don't know if Chill Pills can get a stun on the guy or anything. Maybe blind, stun, combo. Does have a trinket back up for this one. Chill's got a Lichborn. Trying to see if he can run in. Sigil of Misery is gonna fear him for just a second. IBF to break out of the stun. Trying to see if he can ramp up Remorseless Winter. Gripping Parasite in with a silence. Does he have any answer for this one? Might be a trinket. Going in for a flip with an I-beam. Does get stunned up. Big Sigil stun by Chills. Maybe enough damage. Trying to see if he can maximize. Big lead from Para. Blind for Chills. Trying to catch up a little bit of healing. Death back right after. Wait, hold on. Oh my god, are you kidding me? The Death Knight does end up bringing it back for his team. Oh, I felt like, wait, what? Oh. Is Austin okay with him healing? He goes in for a cheer. He goes in to cheer at him. Are you kidding me? Yo, dude, last time we saw a big, massive brawl between the Death Knight and a Demon Hunter, I think it was when Arthas and Illidan fought each other, right? And last time, the Demon Hunter did not stand a chance, but they've been getting buffed up, dude. If Illidan had all that Demon Hunter rework when he first squared off versus Arthas, I feel like it would have went to Illidan's way every single time, but Chill Pills bringing it back. I felt like the class of Demon Hunter is fantastic, but I do think that they are better than Death Knights in a 1v1. Especially Frost. Maybe like Unholy would have been more even, but Frost, you don't see a lot of Frost DKs, but Chills does bring it back. Trying to see if he can fight against an Arcane Mage. That's a whole nother beast. Same as Demon Hunter, plenty of mobility, but also similar hit and run playstyle that you can play into. Big knockback of the Chills as he gets rooted down, dropping down a dome, but that touches the magic. I don't think there's much you can really do there. Big blast right after, missiles to follow. Barrage is just over. There's just not much you can really do to stop it. Top G is up next, and actually, a good portion of the team 2 is melee. So for Seavark, This is as good of a setup that it can be for Arcane Mage. This is exactly the class you would love to face up against. Root at the top G does go for the leap to try to see if he can re-engage back in, but is just unable to chase. Ring of Fire. Do you still get hit by the Ring of Fire when you walk? No. Okay, so you would have to go for the Ring of Fire on the inside, then on the outside. Outside just looks so visual, like there's fire there, but I don't think it actually puts a flame on you. At least I don't think. Does get a slow into top G. Touch of the magic to follow. Got himself reflect for just a second. As long as Seawork does not reflect any big spells back at himself, it might be okay. Blasted out with the Arcane Blast from a distance. Got him some big hits. Missiles to follow. Needs to get himself that tier set of big missile barrage. Root into G. Does go for the stun. Root into Seawork. I don't know if he has himself a big barrage. Breath as a trinket comes out. That's huge for Seawork. Poly onto top G. Does have the poly that lets him heal though, which is unfortunate, but I think maybe he was just trying to get some CC established. Ring of Fire, G leaping out of it. Big knockback, leaping back in. Seawork trying to see if he can blast him out. Does go in for an interrupt. I think that either Seawork reflected an interrupt back at himself, or G tried to go for a kick and didn't get it. Knocked back with a big bowling ball, and G does not have much health to work with unless he's got himself reflect. Fear onto Seawork. Haymaker right after. Maybe you can just CC him. Charge in with a reflect. Does reflect a interrupt back at himself and just able to chip away at him with missile after missile after missile. Hackish Shadow actually has himself a solid chance versus the mage. Goes up for a sap. Seawork does have an ice block. If he saves that ice block for the death pack, he'll be okay. But the dots of an assassination rogue can still melt a mage quite easily. Reflect, oh, trinket into Shadow Step, and you pop yourself into a free Ring of Frost. There's no shot. Seawork planned for it. Cloak of Shadows really early. Does he have the mobility? Trying to go for a bit of a mass invis or normal invis just to give himself a little bit extra defense. Touch of the Magi onto Hockey's. Blinket at the rogue. He's trying to see if he can pressure the rogue. Does get himself another Tempest. The rogue is going to be caught out, rooting him out from a distance. No more Cloak of Shadows for the rogue, nor Vanish either. So actually, Austin, if he plays it super carefully here, he might be okay. Hawk is taking a burn, taking slows from the images. Arcana Sphere is going to hit him, cannot really dodge it easily. It's just going to go down to a touch of death. Shadow Step last second, blind into Austin, does go for the trinket. Yeah, once he got all the big immunities and mobility and Vanish to escape slows, as long as you kite him out and root him, there is no way for the rogue to reconnect and make a play. Unless the rogue can catch himself a re-stealth and go for like a Garrote Silence. Because you can't really stun him. You just go blink out of those. But to get like a Garrote Silence into full death mark, it's rough, man. It is rough. As Austin given an opportunity, at least by Chicago, to catch up a little bit of healing with some food. Breath immediately. This is going to be a trinket out of Chicago with an interrupt onto Austin. Trying to see if he can lock down Chicago in a Ring of Frost, but the lightning bolt still do quite a bit of damage from a distance. Got himself a totem. I don't really know if it's a grounding totem. I think it was actually. Or he dropped a grounding totem maybe earlier. Arcane Surge is back up for Austin. The most amount of damage. Light Lasso doing a bit of damage though. Do you have ult time? Does have ult last second. Big touch to the Magi onto Chicago. Might be the bad spot. Missiles just blasting him out. Arcana Sphere right around the corner if you could dodge it. Does get knocked back either way though. Trying to see if he could get himself a charge in. With a Bloodlust, maybe the haste could be somewhat helpful. Missiles are on the corner, just absolutely drilling right through you. A shifting power is back up for Austin. Able to get himself some cooldown reduction. Not a lot of health available for the mage. Trying to see if he can be very careful. Ring of Fire into Chicago does end up, I think, singeing him down a little. Yeah, it does end up singeing him a little. And if you have yourself another touch of the Magi, that'd be huge. Trying to go for as much healing as you can. As Austin, I think, trying to get himself an angle. Big zaps are available. Lightning Bolt doing a lot. But that's the other Tempest with Arcana Sphere are going to do a lot as well. Can you dodge it, though? Trying to see if you can dodge. Does end up juking it out very easily. More missiles to follow as Austin repositions back in. He needs to find a way to blink in. Sounds out of Chicago with the barrage just takes him out. He's just a big execute barrage. Might be an iceberg right here. As Kenner does not want to give you a chance. Pre-AMS in it. Got him to the army loading back up. We are 47% dampening, so it's really going to be up to Seawork to find a way to crawl back to a victory point here. But right now, Kenner is going to have a lot of pressure early on. Trying to see if he can get around Nova onto Kenner. Cannot break out of Novas unless he goes in for like a Wraith Walk into a freeze. Does give the mage an opportunity to at least go for shifting power to recuperate some of those defensive and offensive cooldowns. Ring of Fire. Silence out of Austin. Does go for the trigger to break out of it. All the time available with a knockback back into Kenner. Have himself AMS back up. All the time. Doesn't put you in the greatest of spots. You're still taking huge hits right now. Unless you can find a way to burst down the DK. You're not feeling that good. Kenner not feeling great either. He does have AMS. Lichborn to try to catch up in healing. Arcana Sphere maybe will connect unless he can dodge it. Did he go? If it went somewhere, I missed it entirely. Trying to see if you could freeze the ghoul at the very least with the Ring of Fire around the corner. Kenner does end up buffing up the pet. I don't think the Ring of Fire actually finished up the cast. But for Kenner, that does give him at least a little bit of health to work with. Austin stunned up, not much health to work with. I think might be done for the count. Into a breath, knockback into Kenner. Does have AMS back up. Ring of Fire, maybe we'll connect. Arcane Surge onto, I think, the pet. Trying to go for a kick. Austin got nothing left. Unless he got him some shields. No, the dots. That was rough. That's a rough one, man. He lived for a while too, but a 55% dampening. I guess the death that would just, the entire army is just, it's rough. It's hard. I don't know how you're going to be able to do it. Kenner does get some chains onto Rosie. Is it? Okay, it is the Hunter. I think that we're a little confused, but it is going to be the Hunter. Does he? I think he was still just looking at Rosie though. That's the issue. I think he was just like, eyeing Rosie is just over. Yeah. I don't know if Rosie went up to like, say hello or something, but I feel like if Kenner was aware that, okay, I'm doing a Hunter, his position might have been a lot different. So I feel like this man might have gotten done dirty even a little. Chills does bring it back versus the Demon Hunter, which is incredible because Parasite is insanely good DH. And Frost DK I don't think wins a lot of duels, but man, was that just, what is this healing? He healed for 8 million. Basically 8 million healing. I guess that's all you gotta do. Oh, you want to defeat a Demon Hunter in a 1v1? Just do 8 million healing. Oh, you're a DPS class? Figure it out, champ. What? What is this healing? It didn't really look healthy the entire duel. I felt like it was just barely surviving the entire time, and apparently did more healing than damage. What is this?